In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create Excel VBA code, which uses the array function and also uses nested loops to gather sales figures for each of the teams from team 1 to team 8 and gathers all the information and lists it in a team summary sheet here. And what's more, the VBA macro ignores any sheet that is colored red. So it's only going to be gathering sales figures for team 1, as you can see, that are not colored red: team 1, team 3, team 4, team 6 and team 8, and team 2, 5 and 7 are ignored, and it's all dynamic. So if you change any of these other teams to red, it's going to ignore those as well. And likewise, if you change the color for any team that's red to nothing, to the normal standard no color, that's not going to be ignored and that's going to be picked up. The VBA macro is assigned to this button here, and I've called it get team sales. So let's click on it and let's see what happens. So as you can see, only those teams are not colored red are listed: team 1, 3, 4, 6 and 8. And it's dynamic. So if I also color team 4 to red, the tab color, and also team 8. So now all we want is to pick up the sales figures for team 1, 3 and 6. Let's see if it works. Click on the macro button again, and it works all dynamically. Team only 1, 3 and 6 teams information for the sales are listed. And I'm going to discuss how we can do this next. So I've got the VBA macro open in the VBA editor, and I've got the VBA editor open, the window next to the normal Excel interface. And I've also closed down in the VBA editor the Project Explorer and the Properties window, and you can enable that again by pressing Ctrl R, and for Properties window press F4. I'm going to single step the code, so I'll show you how it works. So to single step the code, you press F8. You repeatedly press F8. The first thing is I'm going to show you how I declare the variable. So the first variable is a mySheet, and that's going to be of type worksheet, and that's going to be used as a looping variable, which is going to be looping through all the sheets in the workbook, this particular workbook. And then the next variable is a mySummSheet, and that's also going to be of type worksheet, and that's going to be holding the worksheet relating to the team summary here. Then the next variable is a sheet named list. That's of variant type, and that's going to be holding a specific sheet name, which I'll show you later. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to set the my summary sheet to the team summary sheet. And then the next thing it does is the sheet names list. That's going to use the array function, and in the array function you put the names of the teams in quotes. And in this case, we're just going to be processing the specific teams relating to team 1 to team 8, and step through that. And what I've done is I've used a debug.print, and I want you to understand the concept of using L bound and U bound. So the array is in this variant variable called sheet named list, and it has a lower bound value and an upper bound value. Usually the arrays start from an index 0, so that will be expressed from the lower bound function. And to get the upper bound function, the use the upper bound function to get the last element. So this has got 8 elements. So the first element is going to be 0 and the last element is going to be 7 in this case. If I step through that, and I've also got the control, I press Control G to get the immediate window open. So as you can see, what it's doing is debug.print. The first array index is 0. And if I do the next one, single step, the last one is 7. So even though the last element is 7, that's a total of 8 elements. The next part of the VBA code is going to activate the My Summary sheet, which is the team summary, and it's going to clear the contents. So as you can see, the contents are all cleared. The next part of the VBA code uses an outer loop and an inner loop. The outer loop cycles through each worksheet in the active workbook, and each worksheet is using the mySheet variable, which is of type worksheet, which we declared earlier. And then the inner loop uses the variable called IDX, and that cycles through the index of the sheet names list, which uses the array function to house the sheet name, which we saw earlier. So uses the L bound function and the upper bound function. So in this case, it's going to be cycling through elements 0 to 7. And then the next part is it uses a if function, and it checks to see the current index of the array. Is it matching the mySheet, the current mySheet that's being looked at in the outer loop. And if that's the case, and it also checks if to see if the mySheet tab color is not equal to red, then that means that's good. Then that means it's going to process it. So it's going to, in this case, for example, team 1, it's going to activate team 1, and then it's going to copy the range B7 to N7 relating to the sales data for team 1. And if I single step that here, it's going to copy, as you can see, and then it's going to go into the main team summary sheet. Then it's going to activate it. Then the next row is going to be the next row that's available to place the data in. So that's handled by the next row variable. And in this case, it's going to be row 7. And then it's going to take the mySheet.name from the mySheet variable, and it's going to use the name property and paste it in cell B7 in this case, as you can see, team 1. And then from cell C7, it's going to then select that cell, and then it's going to paste the sales figures for team 1, as you can see there. And it's going to continue until all of the sheets meet the condition that is in the list for the arrays, for the sheet names in the array list, and where the sheet color is not red, it's going to process those and ignore all the rest. And by doing it that way, you're just going to be getting information relating to the relevant sheets. So that's how the VBA macro works. So if I now stop doing a single step of the code using F8 and then press F5 to run the entire code in its entirety, you'll get the information in team summary, as you can see here. So I'll close this window here, and I'll open up the window for the main interface, and you see all of the data relating to teams 1, 3, and 4, and 6, and 8 are displayed, and team 2, 5, and 7, which are the red tabs, are ignored. Thanks for watching, and watch out for my next video.